where did you buy the vintage Fender Jazzmaster and the classic Fox AC30 amp? Because I think there started the whole album.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did you buy it?
I bought the Jazzmaster in a shop called Vintage and Rare, which is in Denmark Street in London. So if you're ever in London, go to Denmark Street, go to Vintage and Rare. It's a beautiful shop. It's got a big old bashed old leather couch, and in that shop I picked up another guitar, and I actually wrote the first chords to J Smith, which kind of bore the album, and they get a thank you on the record.
And when did you decide? Because well, you were saying full circle, or you can stop, or you can continue. Did you ever talk about stopping? Because well, you were on the end of your contract.
Well, we stopped after 12 Memories. We had a year off after 12 Memories, where the band just didn't exist, you know. And I think if we'd come out at the end of that year and decided we didn't want to do it, then that, you know, but everyone wanted to go back and everyone wanted to sort of find Travis again, you know. So I think that was the point where we were like, right, do we continue or not? And everyone wanted to. Everyone was still hungry for it. So,
well, the fact that you didn't have a record contract anymore didn't have anything to do with stopping or
no, God, no. We never even thought about it. We had enough money in the bank to go and make a record, so we went and made a record, you know.
Yeah, the record company thing is important if you're a new band, an unsigned band. And then weirdly, you know, we were the most eligible unsigned band in the UK October last year when we came off the road, and it felt massively liberating to have all the experience that we've gained over the years that we've done it, and suddenly not have a record company who. But our manager was saying to us, "Oh no, I don't want you. You should not pay for this. We should get a record company to pay for this. Let's do a deal." And I was like, I really don't want a record company involved at this stage of the making of the album, because they think differently, you know.
Name me one thing that he wanted you to pay for. Didn't want you to pay for what?
The recording of the album.
Okay.
Yeah,
and rehearsing,
yeah. The making of the album, it's about £100,000. You know, that's cheap. That's a cheap record. Most albums, 250, 300, even, you know, like, there's no limit. Goes on and on and on. But we said, this is our budget, and he's like, no. And I just kept on and on and on. I have the emails, like, you've got to let us do this. I really think we should do it, because business is different than music. Music and business are, and that's the thing that really gets annoying if you're a band, is you have to compromise a lot when you're doing it. No thanks. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. Room service.
Yeah, talking about us paying for it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and I think, but the full feeling of, we felt so like, it's like this liberating feeling of being free is at the core of the record. Is the core of the confidence of the record, because you always have to compromise when you sign a record deal. And had we gone,
for example, of this album, what do you think
they would have done?
Yeah.
Well, when we put it this way, when we pay for the record, we could make an album. That's why we paid for the record. If they pay for the record, they want to make the money. Do you know what I mean? And there's a difference between making a record and making money.
In what way would it
affects
have
it?
sound? Yeah, would
It affects it. Well,
affected the album?
because adventurism, even if it only affects it very slightly, everyone's like that. If they want to make money, they start looking around and going, "What's making money? Why can't you do that?" And it's any sort of conservatism, small c, when you're making anything, is debilitating to it. You know, it's going to affect it. So therefore, to have none of that was just really exhilarating. You know, it was great.
But is there one decision that you bumped into, that you had to make, that you were saying, well, if a record company, if we would have a record company, they would have.
But the word single was never mentioned.
Yeah,
in the whole of the writing of the record, the word single was never mentioned.
I've always got singles at the back of my head, because you've got to write a few singles because it sort of helps promote the album. But I think it got to a stage where we were asked to write 6, 7 singles per album. You know, you're talking like 11 tracks in a record.
Michael Jackson.
7 of them have to be singles. Yeah, exactly. Interesting you say that, because those stories were given to me. You know, when you're trying to get me to sort of produce these these albums that just weren't cohesive. They were just these, we were like a hit machine trying to make hits and hits and hits. But I think you know, we needed to break away, and it's not for any particular reason, but we just needed to break away because the business is floundering and doesn't know what the hell it's doing at the moment, and it almost feels like we're kind of like rowing away from the Titanic, you know, and it's like sinking, and we've got our own little boat with all our shit on it. All the people we want to work with, we're like, bye. That's what it feels like at the moment, and that's so cool because the industry's changing, and it seems the best time possible that we could ever have done anything like this.